So we have the substrate right here and the enzyme, and the enzyme is amylase, which is breaking down the substrate glucose into,
Starch. It's actually
or
starch. Is the substrate. That's okay.
this is actually starch, and like it breaks it into glucose and
That's it.
glucose. Yeah. And
We used to think that milk was just calcium and fats that combine together to make milk. But now this is what we learn they actually look like, and it's made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
And our initial ideas were enzymes in the mouth start to break down the calcium and fats.
But in the mouth, nothing much happens to the lactose in milk. I don't think. No, nothing happens. But amylase would break down starch were there starch in milk.
But there's not, because it's not in milk. Because it's milk and doesn't have starch. Yeah.
Yes.
And there are
But
like these proteins.
Yeah. And milk, it has it has proteins, lipids, and what was the third one?
Proteins, lipids, and simple sugars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then our initial ideas were lactose continues to break down in the small intestine, just like that. I don't know. But lactose is broken down into glucose and galactose.
By lactase, which
Yeah.
are these enzymes.
And our initial ideas were that glucose and galactose is absorbed and digested in this area.
We didn't know about glucose and galactose, but that's what actually happens. So that's actually not a part of our initial ideas. But
There's very little absorption is done in the large intestine, actually. So
only water and E. coli vitamins.
yeah. Woohoo. E. coli. And then here's like some blood. We have a white blood cell and a couple more white blood cells. We have some red blood cells.
Because like for food molecules to be in the blood, they have to be in their building block form, which is called monomers.
And here are some building blocks.
Some amino acids, which make proteins, or the proteins that were in milk.
And then we have a muscle cell.
So the muscle cell needs amino acids, which actually come from the blood. It's where glycogen is stored, and it supplies the muscles with a glucose energy burst.
And then our initial ideas were
For lactose.
for lactose intolerance were enzymes do their thing. And then in the mouth, amylase breaks down starch.
But again, there is no starch in milk.
Yeah.
But it happens.
But there are amino acids and like proteins. And then initial idea is doesn't digest in the small intestine.
But while that is true, it's because there is none or little lactase. That was a little time consuming.
Yeah. And then the milk doesn't absorb in the large intestine.
Because no absorption really goes on. But it turns out it's eaten by bacteria, which causes diarrhea, bloating, and gas.
Give me a second. Yeah, we went over this already, so 1 second. Okay.
So the reason people can be lactose intolerant is because they stop producing this lactase, even if they had it as an infant, because the reason they had it as an infant was to digest their mother's milk.
Yeah, and if they don't have it, they can't digest milk. So lactose intolerant.
There we go.
Yeah, woohoo.